the great Seth Wickersham. Seth, welcome to the Odd Couple, brother.
To be honest with you, man, I think I got to hang up because it can only go down for me from here. That was too nice. Thank you, bud.
Hey, I'm known for my grand introductions on this show, so but you deserve it. Every word of it was true, man. It's great to have you on. Let's get into the book for a few minutes.
Yeah.
As you know, you've been doing a lot of interviews and you've seen it all over television. Everybody is focusing on the fact that Belichick did not meet with Brady in person before he left New England. Do you think that it's being overblown and that it really wasn't quite as big a deal as people are making it out to be? Or was it really a big deal to Brady and it really bothered him?
I don't know. It wasn't that it was all Tom's perception of what happened. And, he went to Robert Kraft's house and told him that he wasn't re-signing in person. Robert Kraft thought he was coming over to, negotiate a new contract. But Brady told him that they weren't going to continue together. And then he wanted to tell Bill in person before it got public. Bill was unavailable, so they did it by the phone. Now, I don't know what Bill was doing. Tom didn't know what Bill was doing. But Tom later told a friend that he thought it was telling of the state of the relationship that he ended up saying goodbye over the phone. And, look, the phone call was terrific. Bill said all kinds of really kind things about Brady, but that's what he told a close friend of his that night.
Seth, what's up, man? It's Rob G in for the ever vacationing Hi. Rob Parker. Thanks for popping on. I was watching you this morning.
Wait a second. I just want to be ever vacationing. Like, how do I get that?
Right.
Me too.
I got to interview him.
Exactly. Now, I was watching you this morning on First Things First with Chris and our friend Nick Wright, and I think I recall you saying that had the Patriots agreed to give Tom Brady that extension to age 45 that he had been wanting, that he may have stayed in New England, even with all of the other things behind the scenes that he wasn't happy about. Can you explain why he would have been able to overlook everything just for that contract?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady is not in New England right now for a host of reasons, but the main one is that he has been talking about playing until age 45 for a long time. And the Patriots, organizationally, it's not just Bill Belichick, it was Robert Kraft also, just didn't think that he could play at a high level until he was 45 years old. The two people who should have known better than to underestimate Tom Brady underestimated him. And so ever since the Falcons Super Bowl, when the dynamic in the building really started to change after that, but ever since then, Tom Brady has been wanting the Patriots to give him a long-term contract that would cover him until he's 45. And the Patriots just were never comfortable doing that, and it came to a head in August of 2019, months after Belichick and Brady had won their sixth Super Bowl together, and it was a contentious contract negotiation. Tom Brady nearly left camp in protest because he was so frustrated about it, and he signed a contract, and it was billed as a 2-year deal that might get him until he was age 45. But in reality, it was a 1-year deal with a raise and the ability to let him be a free agent. And as he said publicly since then, he knew that that's when his time in New England was done. And 48 hours after that contract was announced in August of 2019, he and Gisele Bündchen put their Boston home up on the market.
Seth, obviously people have focused on the Belichick-Brady relationship, and rightly so. But I thought it was interesting, too, some of the things that went on between Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. You know, you have a story where Robert Kraft referred to Belichick as an effing a-hole, all right, when he used the words. Do you have a story where he referred to Belichick as an idiot savant? And so talk to us about those comments and what is and was, the relationship between Belichick and Kraft.
Well, personally, I think that Bill Belichick would probably be very proud to be called the biggest effing a-hole in Robert Kraft's life. I think he'd think that's a compliment, not anything to be offended by. Look, Robert Kraft is probably going to make it to the Hall of Fame, and And the main reason why is because he's done a masterful job, generally speaking, of keeping this group together. But that doesn't mean that it's not challenging at times from a managerial standpoint. And so, yes, in fall of 2018, I mean, look, it had been a tough season. 2017 season was obviously a hard season on Belichick and Brady. A lot of tension in the air in Foxborough. Brady skips the entire offseason program, not sure if he wants to come back to Foxborough and be a Patriot anymore because he was so mad. And in the fall, I think they started slow that season. So anyway, Kraft is at an Aspen conference, and he's in the hotel lobby, and he sees a friend, and he's just like, I hate leaving here. There's so many brilliant minds here, and I got to leave and go to Detroit to be with the biggest effing a-hole in my life, my head coach. It doesn't, just because he was venting, I don't think it means that it's like there's some fracture in their relationship where it's fundamentally different. I just think these are really hard personalities to manage, and generally speaking, Robert Kraft's done a good job of managing them.
Seth, last one for me. Now, piggybacking off that story, if it came down to it where I'm sure he wouldn't say this, but if it came down to where they said, Tom Brady says, hey, it's either me or him, I'm just not comfortable playing with him anymore, our relationship's run its course, do you think that Bob Kraft may have chosen Tom Brady over Bill Belichick?
No, because Bill Belichick had a contract that allowed him to make all football decisions. And obviously sometimes Robert Kraft would make football decisions. Robert Kraft was the one who said that Tom Brady had earned the right to walk away on his own terms. And, I think that technically speaking, maybe Robert adhered to that because he gave him the out in the contract in 2019 that allowed him to be a free agent when maybe they didn't have to. But Robert Kraft had made it very clear that he wanted Tom Brady to retire a Patriot, but it did come down to that. And Robert Kraft fell on the same side as Belichick. At the Super Bowl, when the Chiefs played the 49ers, Kraft was talking with other owners, and he said, we want Brady, but not until he's 45 years old.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, as much as I like Brady, it's hard to imagine any team would be willing to sign somebody until they're 45. I mean, Tampa Bay, I guess, was desperate, and they did it. But
especially given that last season he had, it wasn't his best season there.
It's kind of hard to blame the Patriots. But let's end here, Seth. From all your reporting on these two guys, Belichick and Brady, how much do you think each of them, now that they're apart, how much do you think each of them is motivated by the desire to show the world or show others that they can do it without the other one? I mean, Brady obviously has already done that, but how much do you think both of them is motivated by that?
I think they both are, but I think it's a little bit different. I think that the feelings are a little more raw on the Brady side. I just think that the way that things went from 2017 on, it really still burns at him. Belichick is almost 70 years old, and the hardest thing in the NFL is to draft and develop a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Look, he won the lottery with Tom Brady. He drafted a Super Bowl caliber replacement in Jimmy Garoppolo and had to trade him to San Francisco because Brady was playing so well and because Kraft was loyal to Brady. And so when I look at Mac Jones, I see kind of something different than just someone who is filling a need on the football field. I think that for Belichick, it's like he's the latest iteration of a chance to have something that's inherently fleeting in the NFL, and that's continued success. And it's a quarterback-driven league. Bill Belichick knows that. And whenever he walks away, he has always wanted to walk away and leave the Patriots in good shape, especially at the quarterback position. He has way too much pride for them to fall apart as soon as he leaves. And so I think the stakes are a little bit different, but but believe me, Sunday night's game, Bill Belichick wants to win that game, and so does Tom Brady.
That's our man, Seth Wickersham, ESPN senior writer, author of the book, Better to Be Feared. It'll be in stores October 12th. You definitely want to pick it up. Seth, excellent stuff, man. We really appreciate your time.